we just got some huge news about Armored Core 6 coming in. Not only did we get a brand new gameplay trailer, but we also got a little over 11-minute interview from IGN talking to some of the devs about the little more detailed, not at depth as much as I would like, but hey, still a whole bunch of information coming out. And today we're going to be breaking down everything you need to know from the trailer as well as this interview. So you will know what's going on with From Software brand new Armored Core 6. But before we hop into all of this, welcome back to soon to be, I guess, your #1 top for Armored Core 6 gameplay, how-tos, and everything in between. And also, we cannot forget about all that jazz. But before we hop into this, I do want to give a giant thank you to everybody that is supporting over on the patreon.com/Maconn, subscribing over on twitch.tv/TroyMaconn, which, if you are seeing this at the time of that video, we are in the middle of a giant subathon right now. So I am live for the next 9 days, probably longer by the time you see this, but nonetheless, I am live. Come over, say hi. And also, a big thank you to everybody who have joined memberships here on YouTube. And I do want to give a very special thank you to 1K for supporting us over at the Lunar Teal on Patreon. And with that, let's get into this. Let's talk some mecha and talk about Armored Core. Let's do that, champ. Let's see. What is for gameplay for Armored Core? I want menu, chat. I want menus. I so want to see some menus in this, and I want to see the 9 hours we're gonna bench at looking at stats. Show me what you got from software.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
Okay, it already feel indeed like Armored Core.
Handler Walter verified. Activating cerebral coral control device.
God, I'm ready to be a mork again. Let go. Also, YouTube, where you got the quality at? 720. No, 1080. Thank you. Also, From Software really got fascinated by fire. Over the last few you'll have an A.
C4621 has awakened.
Okay. Yep, this is Armored Core. This is absolutely Armored Core. Oh, hell yeah. Now with my menus. Okay, good. So we don't gotta worry about Armored Core becoming Mecha Dark Souls. That's great. I'm happy about that. I was more of my worry going into this. This is still not helping my whole thing. I think a lot of people who have never played Armored Core are gonna think that it's gonna be the downfall of From Software. Especially the people that only know of them from the Souls games. Oh, that was another Raven fight, huh? Yep, there are multiple Ravens. So question, is that Raven fight in general, like in the game, or in like normal missions?
Handler Walter sounds.
Or are we bringing back the arena?
You ready to climb the wall?
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
Okay, never mind. Okay, maybe the Ravens are combat, like in level, not arena.
Watch out.
Why hide behind another's call sign?
Yeah, this seems way more, I gotta say, like, way more like Raven on Raven. Like, don't get me wrong, that always kind of been a thing, but...
On borrowed wings.
God, August. Yeah, that day one, chat. I don't care. So, yeah, it kind of, I do gotta say, like, the main thing I'm getting from this, like, any of it, like, yeah, this is 100% Armored Core. You can tell by some, like, the especially, what was it? Also, oh, no Game Pass. Like, well, where was it? It was like whenever you saw, yeah, that part right here. Like when you're attacking like the tanks here, like that movement, like it's literally the exact same movement of like the old Armored Core games. But the one thing I am noticing, any of like the moment-to-moment gameplay is, like I said, Armored Core, but also you can tell they're doing fat cuts because let's be honest, sometimes some of them Armored Core missions can be very long and very sluggish. Depending on, you know, what the objective is and how quickly you just randomly stick duct tape together to make something that could maybe do the quest. But I do gotta say in this is, let me go back to the beginning while we were talking here. Like the main thing I'm like getting out of this is it's seeming to be way more Raven focused. Because the thing was about old Armored Core was like, you know, think you was a mercenary, you're taking on random missions that are given to you from distant, you know, companies. Like, don't get me wrong, you fought other mercenary and other Ravens and whatnot in previous games. But I kind of feeling like, well, the older games are very much, I get the best way to put it, like, in the case of from software stuff, like, a lot of left to you to figure out, as well as a lot more, like, kind of choose your own adventure type of way, where, like, you know, you spend more time from one company over others. You know, you will see, like, a distant side of what would be the plot or the story. Well, this one is feeling very much along the lines of just, like, way more focused on you. With the way, like, all the other Ravens are talking. Also, I'm gonna unmute it just a little bit. Like, the way the other Ravens are talking to you, very much got the vibe as, like, you know, you the odd man out here. You're not just another, like, mercenary. It seemed like you're gonna be a little more important, I guess is the way to put it. So I'm kind of interested to see, like, did that mean, are we moving away from the mercenary, you know, 5 quests, pick who you want to work for, you know, type of progression? Which in return, if they are, then, you know, I get that we'll get away from the whole, like, you know, like, choosing multiple, like, quests in a menu. And by the way, that right here, okay, yeah, this is not an arena, because obviously these are 2 other Ravens. It's like, it kind of looked how plain it was for, like, the split second. It kind of looked like it was the arena. But yeah, it looked like it not. Which, by the way, for anyone who don't know, I'm not talking about, like, dots, so, like, boss arenas or anything. But an older Armored Core game was, it was, like, 2 game modes. You had the story game mode, and then you had the arena game mode with you fighting other, Raven characters. And, like, working your way up the rank to become technically like trying to win a championship type of thing. It pretty much was like a tournament arc. And I thought it might have been for a moment, but actually looking like that, it does look like it's going to lean out. So this is probably nothing more than like a Dartso arena. With meaning, you know, you're going to be fighting Raven in the mission itself. The other thing I'm noticing, though, about that, which I'm happy about, they also showing, like, a decent amount of, like, the main Raven, you know, changing. So, obviously, we are going to keep the mech customization. But I am still... I'm doing that camp of, like, I wanna know how they're going to do that. Because don't get me wrong, I would love the whole, like, let's spend 10 hours staring at spreadsheets and figuring out power output, like in the older games. I would love that. And also, I still would love to see, like, how strong the From Software fanboy biasness are. when you're spending, like, 9 hours in a menu to play, like, a 2-minute long mission, and then right back to 9 hours of character creation. I would love to see doing that be on file for that. But... At the same time, it's like, I wonder if they're gonna change it more, like, you know, like, streamline it a bit. Cause you think about it, any, like, the Soul game that for stats and stuff is concerned, you know, it like very, very much in depth when it comes to the stats as well. But you know, you also had skill and armor core. I kind of feel like don't get me wrong. Obviously, there was skill though for armor core, but at the same time, armor core always kind of leaned way more into like the simulation, like stats, and that were more important than skills in a lot of ways. You know, it was more about your intelligence of understanding the gameplay systems, not so much actually doing it in the moment. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're gonna like do that. That is my net bigger question here for that, because like, yep, gameplay wise, like, yep, it armor core, we good. We will see if he like he could, you know, there was some stuff in here that does look like okay, I get armor core no longer like a double eight, like what was it, like some of these areas, and then like that type of, don't get me wrong, we had bosses like this in armor core like 4 and 5, but yeah, like armor core have always, but then again, I guess From Software always technically been up to, you know, more recent year have always been much more like a double A developer in a lot of ways. So I'm kind of curious, like, what they're gonna look like, especially after Elder Ring and the success of that. And at that point, I have no idea what is accurate, but I feel like at that point, From Software, it kind of slowly becoming like Walkdog, but for Bandai, we're like, hey, you guys do you, here's some money, let us know if you need more, tell us when it's done. You know, it's starting to feel like a little bit like, you know, they obviously on the trot to, you know, have a little more freedom here. Don't get me wrong, they're still obviously answering the Bandai, but, you know, like a little more like freedom, because let's be honest, after Elder Ring and the success of Elder Ring, you know, Bandai, I feel like, would have been like, no, Armor Core, no. You get to work on another Elder Ring. Especially with how, like, niche Armor Core is as a whole. Like, everybody roughly know the name Armor Core, but, like, the people who played it, like, I feel like it's a very select few. And I am so, at that point, I was originally always sold on this, but I am happy, though, that at least seeing gameplay of it now, that it's not just gonna be like, here's a robot that literally just play like a Dark Souls character, but now you got missiles on your back. I'm happy that's not the case. I'm happy that it does look like Armor Core. But I need to see the menus. I need to see character creation. Like, no matter what, I'm buying it and playing it day one. I don't care. But I still want to see it. Because honestly, if we get a trailer of just pure menu and character creation, and it literally is just Armor Core, other than me being like, come on, internet. Let's burn it all to the ground. But other than that, it, like, I would just be like, I'm good. I don't have to see anything else. See you in August. This is Armor Core. Late gameplay wise, but let's be honest, the gameplay never was the strong suit of Armor Core. We will see come, what was it, August something? Did they say a date? They said date, right? They actually did say a date. What was it? August 25th. Okay. So, also, what did we actually get for the collector edition now? Pre-order now to get, again, yeah, customizable, yeah, again, standard edition, digital art book and soundtrack. Ugh. I'm still not keen on the digital stuff, chat. So I'm guessing what, probably collector edition. Maybe we'll have like a steelbook, maybe. But yeah, both digital disc and game version. Oh, that's just saying they're doing both versions. Okay. But yeah, I'm in, chat. I am in. Know some of the missions are like so long. Yeah, because the thing was about Armor Core mission though, like there were missions that literally, like I said, you would spend an hour making a mech for like 5 minutes or less, and then there were other missions that like, congratulations, you're gonna be here for like 3 hours. Do not mess this up, you know, type of missions. Wait, IGN have a interview video with a developer if you're interested. Yes, I am interested. I'm absolutely interested. Okay, We got the trade. We got the interview. Let's see what they have to say.
Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
What's up, everyone? My name is Mitchell Saltzman, and today I'm joined remotely all the way from Japan by producer Yasunori Ogura to talk all about Armored Core 6. How are you?
Hi there, I'm great, thank you. I'm Yasunori Ogura from Software, producer on Armored Core 6. It's great to be here.
How long has Armored Core 6 been in development, and what has it been like?
I feel like we've been here in
Software to
Wimo for like
return to this
5 year
franchise
plus.
that was such a big part of the company for such a long time.
So we have been cultivating development staff through our experience with recent titles, and there were many members of staff, including Miyazaki and myself, who've wanted to make a new Armored Core game for a long time. So really, not making a new Armored Core was never really an option. It was a case of when rather than if. As to the game's direction and development,
Because they haven't talked about it
around
for years.
2018, Miyazaki and some core members of the team began initial direction and forming the basic core concept of AC6.
Yeah, so 19,
and
20.
after prototyping,
Yeah, about 5
was
years. Wow,
complete,
right.
our director Yamamura took over on the project. However, as you know, we have several projects going on at the same time within the company, so we had to get an ideal allocation of resources. We had to get the right staff on board, which resulted in a slightly longer wait, but we're happy to finally bring a new Armored Core to our fans.
Yeah, let's
So,
be
can you tell
honest,
us
like
a little
Elder
bit
Wayne
about the story of
obviously
Armored Core
took
6
precedent
and
now and
whether
then.
newcomers will be able to jump right into this entry if they haven't played any of the other ones?
This is a brand new story and has no direct link to previous titles. AC6 takes place in a future
kinda
where
figure.
interstellar
Only a
travel
handful
is
were ever
commonplace,
connected.
not on Earth, but on a fictional planet in a distant star system called Rubicon 3. Rubicon is a devastated planet that was razed to ash in a great disaster caused by the outbreak of a mysterious new substance called coral.
Activating cerebral coral control device.
Also,
which occurred half a century before the events of the game take place. At
well,
the
that was
outset
like,
of the
no,
game,
I don't think that would tie
in
to the
story,
bug from
player
the
learns
other
that
Armored Core,
coral,
right?
which was thought lost in this great disaster, has been rediscovered, and extraterrestrial corporate forces have begun an invasion race to acquire the rights to this mysterious and powerful new substance.
They're all company.
So they are at conflict with the indigenous forces who are resisting their invasion on the planet Rubicon. And the player, as a lone independent mercenary and AC pilot, is thrust into this Rubicon war for the coral. So although AC6 is a numbered title, the setting and story are completely new, and we believe it makes a great first entry into the series for newcomers and old fans alike.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the
Okay,
dog
good.
up.
So let's talk a little bit about Rubicon as a setting. Is there anything that's
no,
unique
it might
about the
lean to
planet
one
that will allow for
corporation,
kind
not
of
multiple.
unique mission structures that people haven't seen in the Armored Core series previously?
There are two things we'd like to convey to both newcomers and old hands to the series. Armored Core offers two unique game experiences. First is this dynamic, three-dimensional action that can only be achieved with
we're talking
mechs.
mechanically.
And the second is the ability to customize your own personal AC by
Good.
combining multiple parts and decorating it.
So
to
it's still a
liking
big key
with
point.
painting
Fantastic.
And decals and the like.
Now
So
go into
these
detail.
player-assembled, player-controlled ACs are able to fly freely through the air and handle multiple weapons simultaneously.
Whoa. Freely? Okay, that might not, that might be a translation thing. Because the thing was about Armored Core, your power output control how much boost you have. So if you didn't have energy and depending on your engine, you had to like, if you used it up, you had to like wait for it to come back. And some was longer than others. But I think you meaning more like in general, like, hey, you can fly, not like you can fly forever. I'm pretty sure that's what he meaning. But if it fly forever, right there, it already a cutback to one of the mechanics of equation of your AC.
And turn on a dime, dash in different directions at once. This makes
Also,
for
we
a
need-
dynamic
we need-
and very aggressive combat
we
style.
need UI as
that
well,
makes full
chat.
use of the three-dimensional space, and we feel that this has always been an appeal of the Armored Core series and is an appeal of the mech action genre.
Yeah.
For die-hard Armored Core fans, what are the elements of Armored Core 6 that those hardcore fans are going to find appealing about this game?
With AC6, one area we focused on was to make sure that the customization aspect is not just about parameters going up and down and numerical values changing, but how these changes are reflected in the feel of the action as much as possible. In particular, the leg parts, which control the
Real quick, that kind of sound like, yeah, we might be dumbing down the stats here. We might be having a Oblivion the Skyrim scenario here.
the AC's movement, you might have a tank type legs that can perform drift turns, and this changes the very basic behavior and traversal type of the AC.
So yeah, we
also made sure
that
that the
stats and
behavior of
mechanics,
weapons, such as the way they shoot, how they recoil, how their projectiles behave, we tried to make sure that this all makes a big difference in how the game feels.
Get that, but
So
I feel like
speaking
we
bit
could
about
have
that
had a little
customization,
both,
Armored Core
so-
games have a bit of a reputation for being very complex, with many stats to consider, parts to swap in and out.
okay, here we go.
Is there anything else that you guys are planning on doing with Armored Core 6 to make it a little more approachable for newcomers who might not be used to that level of complexity?
Also known as the people who don't play Gran Turismo.
As you mentioned, Armored Core has always been a game with many parameters and is a game where you can enjoy the complexity and depth it offers, but we feel it's also a game where you can enjoy simply by assembling your AC without thinking too deeply about it. Adjust the appearance to your liking and simply get out there and pilot it and take it into combat. That said, in regard to new players, we've taken careful steps with the onboarding and level design in the early stages of the game, so that players can deepen their understanding step by step, little by little, and work their way into that fun of the more complex parts. We've also prepared a
Yeah, they
training
streamline
simulator where the player
equation.
can learn the basics of action and assembly using sample ACs, and we've also tried to make the controls more intuitive, so that we hope that those
But I don't
who
think it's
have no
completely
experience with the
gone,
series
but
will feel free to enter and enjoy.
I kind of feel like instead of being spreadsheet simulator, it seemed like we are kind of gonna go more the way like they have done in general in them games. Like the perfect example would be like the difference between like Dark Souls to Demon Souls to Elder Link. Like as far like, you know, the mechanics there are technically the same, but the streamlined process of it is more understandable and more specific to the player and what they want, appeal to what the game want, and that's what it sounds like they are doing here. So this sound like the whole thing of like, hey, you do not gotta spend like 9 hours in a menu for one quest now. Now you can do it in like 30 minutes, and then, you know, also have the possibility, well, for the hardcore people, you know, like the player like me who come from like the original Armored Core stuff. I get what would be a better comparison here, since like I said, Armored Core always been appealed to like Gran Turismo or old Gran Turismo, and it kind of sounds like this game is more gonna be more in line with like Forza Horizon. Well, the depthness is there, but it's not needed or in the forefront. That is what that kind of what it feels like. Technically, I woke up to Diana screaming her lungs out because she woke up from a nap and Sam had gone, so she was screaming with her separation anxiety panic attack screams. Woke up to that and then literally hit like had like a semi panic, like, oh god, I paid my internet bill, because you know the last few days been such a bore, and it was due like 2 days ago. So I might have woke up in a panic, got Diana with Sam to stop screaming. I didn't went in here to double check if I paid my internet bill, and then went back to bed. Once I will lie, I did. So, other than that, and I didn't wake up covered in blood today, like yesterday. So, Hills and Valley, but overall, it was good. I woke up at like 3:30, almost 4.
Enjoy the feel of piloting their very own Armored Core.
Are there any lessons that you guys have learned over the many years you've spent developing the Souls games that you take into the development of Armored Core 6, even though they're kind of two very different genres?
Armored Core 6 is an attempt to take both the knowledge and experience gained from the development of our previous titles and combine it with the fun of mech customization that the AC series has always embraced. And in this sense, we hope to create a new mech action game that is worthy of modern From Software standards.
Yeah,
Specifically,
it is.
we're
Yep.
developing this game with an awareness of the things that From Software has always embraced in its other action games, such as a intricate map structure, combat design that allows players to deal with enemies by carefully observing their movements, and the ability to overcome challenging situations with ingenuity and creativity. These are all, of course, things we've kept in
Yeah,
mind.
so they're
with
leaning
AC6 as
leaning
well.
more.
However, as
So,
you
so we are doing the whole thing. We are keeping the gameplay of Armored Core while allowing the freedom of what, like Elder Wing or Dark Soul ended up doing. So it's safe to say that it probably the way I foresee it going, and from the trailer we saw, it probably more like, okay, you're doing the big like fighting armies of like, you know, mecha stuff. Will probably feel a lot more like original Armored Core, and then probably the 1v1 or just like Raven versus Raven or Raven fights will probably feel a little bit more like Dark Souls in that case. So the question will be is, at that point, are they going to like design the combat that the other Ravens is more in line with whatever your skill set is with your Raven? Because the thing was about, like, old Armored Core game was, like, if you was in a slow mech and you fighting something that fast, like, they zipping around to the point of, like, you can't easily keep track of what they doing or understand movement in the same way you could in, like, Dark Souls or any of those games. So, I'm kind of curious of how they're going to walk that line without, like, maybe the whole thing with them moving away from like Pacific Stat into more mechanic, such as what they use example of the tank wheel having drifting and having abilities on them. Maybe that will like keep the playing ground roughly the same, and that is going to be the way. Maybe. I'm curious, Seal.
You mentioned, the basic format and genre of Armored Core is completely different from games in, for instance, the Souls lineage. So there are no aspects of the game mechanics or gameplay that can be directly observed.
You ready to climb the wall?
Can you talk a little bit about your goals with the combat design?
I feel like a little bit of a
are there any
statement
kind
to
of
just try to
mechanics that
relieve
players
the
should know about
fans.
that perhaps didn't exist
Like the Armored
in
Core
previous
fans.
Armored Core games?
In terms of points we focused on this time around, I would say that individuality of the melee weapons is one of the key points.
Of course,
Armored
yeah.
Core is mainly a shooting game at heart, and that's exactly why we had this policy of having more unique melee weapons this time around. So in addition to the well-known pile bunker and the cluster bomb launcher that you might have seen in the trailer, there are also a variety of weapons with different animations and more unconventional characteristics, such as a chainsaw and a laser lance, and things like this.
Okay, so real quick, the thing that might be the whole like bleeding, or like I don't want to say like pandering to like the soul community, because I'm not meaning in like a bad way, but well, Armored Core in the past, like don't get me wrong, you could build melee mechs. That wasn't an issue. You could totally do that. There was always melee in Armored Core, but melee and older Armored Core were more like along the line of, oh crap, I'm out of ammo, I'm running low. You know, it was more like a safety net backup. Like, don't get me wrong, there was some mission where you could absolutely not do a melee, but there was other mission that you totally could, and depending on what you're fighting, how good of a pilot you are, your lock-on systems, there was a time where you could run out of ammo, and at that point, if you did not bring a melee weapon, you just can't win. At that point, you just got to start the mission over, take a penalty, lose money, and hope that not, you know, the beginning of the end of your finances. Which I get that would be another question here. I wonder how financing going to play into there. Is that going to matter at all? Because don't forget, that was also a big part of Armored Core, to the point that there was actually bad ending for being too bankrupt. Which in return was a safety net from, you know, getting stuck and having to start completely over. Which is the main reason why, you know, there was bad ending that actually gives you benefit for your net playthrough. Because that was the other thing about Armored Core. You could lose Armored Core. And not as I lost, I might reload my game. More like, no, you start over. which was always like one of the best part of Armored Core, you know, just like from software in general, always having that like backup plan similar to like roguelike game nowadays. So I wonder how that's gonna operate. Like, if the focus on melee, if you're focusing more on melee, that means you're not going through that much ammunition. That means you're not buying ammunition. You're not buying ammunition. You don't need money. So that all boils back down to the economy design. So I kind of want to know about that as well now.
In the trailer, you may have also seen a part where the core is deployed by an AC to generate a shockwave, and the pile bunker is then used against an opponent who is reeling back from this shockwave. This kind of building combos with multiple weapons aspect is an appeal of AC6's unique assembly and combat.
Yeah, I'm happy about that
players
part,
will
though.
enjoy using their creativity and asking
So that was
themselves,
always
what
something
combination
to
of
keep in
weapons
mind in
can I
Armored
use
Core.
to
So focus
create
on
my
that, be
ideal
nice.
combo attacks and secure victory.
So is there any one new thing, whether it's a mechanic or a mech part or a weapon, that you're particularly proud of and are excited for players to experience in Armored Core 6?
I'd like players to mostly look forward to something we touched on earlier, which is this using their ingenuity and creativity to create a combination of their own making, and a combination of the various parts and weapons at their disposal. So for example, they might be dashing across the battlefield while shooting ballistic weapons and letting missiles fly in every which direction. These missiles will connect with their enemy, knock them off balance, and then they'll use their assault boost to dash in with a quick burst of speed and finish with a melee strike. This kind of player-created combo and their own unique combination of weaponry and mobility will allow for this new aggressive, offensive style of AC combat, and we hope this is something that reinvigorates the series and that new and old fans alike can enjoy.
Multiplayer has always been a big part of the Armored Core series. Is there anything you can tell us about multiplayer in Armored Core 6?
Arena?
So I
Maybe they will
believe
Arena come in.
ACV was more focused on multiplayer as the last title in the series. But first of all, the main content of AC6 is positioned as single-player campaign mode where you progress through a more traditional mission structure. There will be an online PvP mode where players can compete against
We
each
all keep
other
it
with
quested.
ACs they have built and share their AC data and emblems of their own making with other users. But first and foremost, the story missions in AC6 are single player only. We would like players to go in there, become the lone mercenary lifestyle, and enjoy this aspect of the game first and foremost. We do hope to share more details about the online aspect at a later date, so please stay tuned for that.
Okay, so the main thing to take interest there is
Let's see
we are
how
keeping
far they
mission
can fly.
structure a previous AC.
On borrowed wings.
All right, well, that about
And-
wraps it up. Ogura-san,
and we're gonna be
thank you
able
so
to
much
actually
for your
share our
time.
mecha design
Armored Core
with people.
6 Fires of Rubicon is set for release this August 25th on PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Thanks for watching, and for everything else, keep it right here.
Okay, so like, I kind of feel like, to be totally honest, I kind of feel like the interview, obviously, with a lot of surface level stuff, because you know, there's a lot of like hardcore questions there that obviously didn't go into like what we were talking about with like the economy stuff. But I would say probably the biggest thing to come out of this is knowing like, okay, we're gonna have mission structure, you're gonna be able to share your mech, like, and the combat leaning more into melee, which I get makes sense, like I said, with From Software track record nowadays anyway. And also I get the downplaying a little bit of the more mechanical stuff, so maybe the internet won't be on fire with, you know, headlines such as Armored Core 6 ruined From Software. From Software need to go out of business, you know, them type of headlines might not exist now. But yeah, very much, it's feeling very much like the distance between, like, Gran Turismo to, like, Forza Horizon. That is kind of like the vibe I'm getting here, which I'm a little sad about, but at the same time, it's like, hopefully they keep a reason for the more in-depth customization beyond, you know, just doing it to do it. Because when it comes to, like, this type of stuff, it's like, being able to do the deep stuff is what I want, but I also want the deep stuff to actually have a point. Well, like, you know, if you can go through the content, like, as is with like bare minimum like mecha design with no issue. And then for me, I have no motivation to want to do the more customization stuff because it just feels empty and a little bit of a waste of a time. So hopefully, since they're all talking about the more PvP stuff, they'll a little bit, you know, any if they didn't go in much detail, they'll maybe that type of content gonna shine is that well, they're gonna keep some type of roguelike part to it, like the original games back in the day, and maybe, but yeah, that would be like right now my bigger question going to be mainly all because you know he did talk about like, you know, multiple people like fighting for that planet. So that kind of implied that we all gonna have, you know, as a mercenary, since we do a mercenary, the option to pick who we want to work for at any given point. But I want to know how in depth is that? Will the story have ramifications of that? Once again, like the older games, how exactly is like the economy stuff set up, as well as like feel like it was a little foreshadowing, especially with like the original trailer of, you know, harvesting like weapons and armor out of the destruction of the planet. So that also would be another part of that, like how much of that is gonna like play into the economy of finding exclusive items out in missions, or finding certain currencies items that you can sell, because they may or may not be like junk, and will there be any like customization as far like repairing said junk? Like, that's the stuff I'm right now the most interested in. Gameplay-wise, it's like, okay, yeah, there's like Armor Core, any of it is going more melee, which I feel like that is more like a autumn branch between the Soul community and the Armor Core community a little bit. So yeah, I do have a lot of questions, but I am happy my original worry of just being like, well, congratulations, you are now playing Dark Souls 3, but now you're a mecha. I am happy that is nowhere near as extreme as it could have went. Especially after the success of Elder Ring. So yeah, I'm excited. I have questions. I want to note up. I think that is Armor Core. So with that, since I will probably gut this and put this up on YouTube in a bit. So if you're watching it over on YouTube, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells. Come on over to twitch.tv/Maconn. We are still live right now because Chad is still going to ham with all subathon, and we're gonna be here for 9 days. So come on over, say hi, and link in the description below for all the other stuff, Patreon, the trailers, and whatnot. And I guess for everybody watching it after the fact, I will see you. I see you right there in the comments, and everybody here on Twitch, I see you as well, and we're gonna continue.